I'm Carl Anderson, and I'm a graduate of Texas A&M, 1958. I met Dr. Timm shortly after I came to A&M. I was down here not knowing really a whole lot about what I wanted to do, and Dr. Timm sort of took me under his wing early. He could tell that. He knew that the Department of Agricultural Economics had something to offer a young man. So he came along. He was a mentor, he was a teacher, and he was a friend. And I certainly respect him all through my career. Dr. Timm was the kind of fellow that he just get to know you. He knew the students, he knew his subject matter, and he was very effective and efficient, and he taught us a lot about just life as it is today. One of the things I liked about Dr. Timm was he was a true leader. He was the kind of fellow that you could go in his office anytime you wanted to. You could sit down and visit with him. You could stand in the hall and talk with him. And you would get some information that would be good information that you could use in life or in your professional career. Well, Dr. Timm was excellent in having a lot of friends. He taught us about networking. And he had a network. You walk in his office, and if we had a committee meeting or something, if he needed to get something, he just picked up the phone. He called the president of Texas A&M or the governor of Texas. It didn't matter to him. He knew them all, and certainly knew all our legislators. And he was very effective in his political background. But he also, I learned a lot in his classes that I've used throughout my professional career. He taught us a lot about policy making. He taught us all about the committees, the agricultural committees and the different committees in Washington, D.C. He told us that if you want to influence any kind of legislation, be sure that you get in touch with the chairman of the agricultural committee or whatever committee you're dealing with. He was a great individual as a family man himself. But he also taught us to do things for ourselves. He was a great mentor. He led the Department of Agricultural Economics from a slow moving operation to a real great growing one. And I was fortunate to be a part of that, learned a lot about business of agriculture. I knew that I'd grown up on a farm and that we worked hard, but we didn't always know enough about business or make good business decisions. So Dr. Timm taught us to think through, size up, evaluate, make up our alternatives that we see or could figure out, and then pick one and work with it. And if it worked, fine. If it didn't, change over to another. As a mentor, I would like to say that as a graduate of Agricultural Economics Department, which did a great deal for me as I went out into my professional career. But my first two jobs, Dr. Timm was the one that recommended me for those jobs, and he mentored me as I went into those jobs. One of them was working with adults and teaching them farm and ranch management, bookkeeping, accounting, and record keeping. And the other one was when I graduated with my PhD in agricultural economics. Dr. Timm recommended me to go to the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, Texas. And that was one of the best decisions that I could have ever received. Working with the central bank and the central bank authority, I learned a great deal about the economics of the nation, about the economics of business, and about the economics of financing business. And we had a great program there, and I fortunately had an opportunity to work with the cattle feeding industry as it moved into Texas in about 1969, and the financing of the cattle feeding industry. We learned how to handle the investments, the risk management, hedging, and all, and put it together. It's a great industry as it is today, and I can credit Dr. Timm for helping me evaluate that situation, giving me some directions, and I will always be thankful for his credit that he gave me. He always built me up a little bit more than I should have been, but he was a supporter of all his students. He knew us very well. He knew our families. And I want to thank Dr. Timm for what he did for building a Department of Agricultural Economics. We've got some great students, graduates. I meet them all along and over the state, over the nation, and it's a great thing to know that I graduated as a member of the Department of Agricultural Economics at Texas A&M while Dr. Tyrus Timm was head of the program.